What's up, everybody? Welcome to What's Cookin' episode 3, featuring my brother, roommate, mentor, Aaron Perez.
Let's go, mentor.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Did you mention stoned?
And, of course, as always, we have the beautiful Taylor Jade here with us. Creative director, momager, dancer extraordinaire. And, as always, we have the man behind the camera, Young Kato.
Let's go,
Kato.
Hey,
That's his
the creative genius of Tastebreakers. And you have myself, Waseel. I just cook and I have a fun time.
Nice.
So let's get it going. Today in the kitchen, what we have a New York roast that I'm about to put in the oven right there.
That's a fat piece of meat over there.
That is a big piece of meat.
So that's Was's meat.
I'm going to be making it with a side of mushroom, broccoli, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was looking for the ingredients for risotto. I couldn't find the right rice. I was getting pressed for time. Rouse was super cracking. You got that pre-Thanksgiving dinner rush. It was really stressing me out. So I just grabbed the box, guys. I'm sorry. You know, usually we go homemade everything.
Bullshit. Boo!
But,
Wow. Tell us about your plan for 2019.
So for 2019, I'm going to be embarking on a sober 2019 journey. I'm going to give myself 4 get out of jail free cards. So once a quarter. You know, even moderation in excess. You know, you got to do moderation in moderation.
How long can you stay in the jail?
A day. It's a day. 4. You know, 1 day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lock me up.
Lock me up.
Yeah, exactly.
So that means no alcohol, no weed, all that good stuff.
No fun.
No fun. Just doing a full year of sobriety and seeing how it goes. You know,
Hell
what's
yeah.
up. It's been like 10 years since I've been like that. So we'll see how it goes.
Let's go.
Actually, Aaron has a lot of great insight on that because Aaron was a sober bird up until like recently.
That's
really.
crazy to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Why don't you?
It's like, 'cause you're fucked up now, man.
Yeah. Why don't you talk about that?
Right,
a little bit,
what
actually?
made you want to
take a
be
drink first.
sober for that long to begin with?
I still don't drink.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
really?
it just doesn't taste good. That's really it.
Okay,
And as you can
nice.
tell, I'm pretty reckless sober. So all it does is take away my ability to drive, and I can't dance as good because I have no balance.
Okay,
So it's like a lose-lose.
totally.
And it's so expensive. So
It
expensive.
is
Yeah,
expensive to
that's very
drink.
true.
And so I just don't drink just because I don't really like it. But I did not smoke or do any drugs until about 2 years ago. Started off with the old acid.
That's crazy to start off
Yeah,
with.
it was a hell of a start. And then did shrooms, and I'd been smoking weed like on and off for like the last year and a half.
Okay.
And then I was fun. It was like I got a lot of laughs. My body felt cool, but I never bought it because I didn't really
Yeah.
feel like I had a use for it. And then I was in the studio with my buddy Brett James, and we smoked and we listened to his music, and it was like, how have I not been doing this my
Right.
entire life? So I started smoking hella weed and making so much music, and then the gym, working out high was like a whole nother level.
Right.
So those are like my 2 favorite things. So pretty much I just get high and go to the gym and get high and make music now.
Nice.
It's really interesting that you mentioned that's how you unlocked it because
Right.
Kato and I were having a discussion yesterday about how I think there's not a misconception, but a lot of people think that like, you know, creatives get high and then they just unlock this like new creative
Right.
brainwave. And it's not one shoe fits all, right? For me, for example, like when I get stoned, I'm not like zero creativity.
Whoa.
Like I get super stuck in my own head. I'm not as decisive with the
Trippy.
music decisions.
Yeah.
Like things don't flow in. Enjoying music and enjoying things,
Yeah.
totally. But for me, it's like when I get high, it's just very much like it has to be a relaxing state. I can't really be productive. Even when I was trying to go to the gym high.
I started smoking at a really young age, and now, like, I had a point where I wasn't smoking a lot in high school. I started very young. And then when I got out here, I started smoking again, and then that's when I unlocked all my creative stuff. But now I feel like I'm in that space again where I'm like, it kind of just makes me want to chill now. So unless I take like some sort of break from it, I'm not really in that creative space either.
When I was smoking, I was never really doing anything creative. I was more socializing.
Okay.
So I think that's kind of like what my brain got accustomed
I think,
to
yeah,
was
I
like
think it's a pattern
when
thing.
it was a pattern thing, right? So I'd actually be interested to see after I take this break for a year if I do then indulge again, but start only indulging in creative situations,
Right.
see how my brain would react after.
And I think, like you said, I started at a point where I'm like super driven and oriented, so
Right.
I was like, oh, here's a supplement is what
Yeah.
it felt like. It wasn't like,
Right.
oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna kick back. It's like, oh, this makes me careless, this makes me giggle, like these things are very applicable to what I want to do.
Right.
I didn't associate it with like chilling out when I
Yeah,
first did
Right.
it.
yeah, it's like just really a different perspective and a different way
Yeah.
to use the plant, honestly. So yeah, tell me a little bit about you. You know, your journey musically, kind of like where you started and where you're going now with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The brand is called Castor Troy. He's a character in Greek mythology. He's brothers of Pollux Troy, and they're kind of like this duality thing. And anyways, Castor Troy dies. Pollux gives himself up to exist with his brother, but only as stars. They can't exist as
wow.
worlds anymore. So that's like the rough outline of Castor Troy. But the way I got into it was through Face Off, the 1997 action classic with Nicolas fucking Cage and John Travolta. Great movie. Castor Troy. And the whole storyline is 1997.
Nice.
John Travolta is a good anti-terrorist cop guy who is chasing Castor Troy. He's planted a bomb in LA.
Okay.
And then they catch Castor Troy and they think he's dead, but they keep him alive because they haven't figured out where the bomb is yet. So they do this super crazy procedure where they take off John Travolta's face and Nicolas Cage's face and they switch them.
Wow, that sounds wild.
It's crazy. And then, John Travolta, the good guy, has the body and face of Nick Cage. He has to go in there and like talk to Pollux, the brother, find out where the bomb is. But meanwhile, Nicolas fucking Cage wakes up with no face, kills everybody, and now nobody knows that John Travolta is Nicolas Cage and vice versa.
Oh wow.
So the good guy is the bad guy, and the bad guy is the good guy the whole movie. And it's this really cool play on duality, and like you see each of the other one go into the other one's element, how they interact with the opposite.
Right.
And that really fascinated me as a kid, like especially as I got older, like that you could be the sum of both parts rather than like I'm just this or I'm just this,
Right.
you know. Like even with drugs, like having I just didn't do them. Like nope, I would never shit talk anyone. I just didn't do them. And then but to have the ability to like now I want to do them, like I could still do that. So Castor Troy for me was like I love singing. I love like really beautiful melodies and harmonies, but I love really really heavy aggressive things as well. So it was
Right.
like this marriage of like dark and light, and I wanted to like play off that.
Very cool.
So that I launched that about like 5 years ago maybe, and I went to Icon where Waseel and I met, and I had entered this competition. I was making a lot of music at the time. The goal was always like vocal driven singer-songwriter stuff,
Right.
but I was also making a lot of electronic drum and bass, hip hop, house, everything. And I entered this contest for Insomniac, and I got to perform at EDC like
Oh, wow.
right out of school.
That's super awesome.
It was fucking great, but looking back, I was just telling Gabby about it, that it kind of fucked with me a little bit because I had like an intention, and then I had some really fast success with this thing. And anybody that's in that scene knows that contest is not like crazy hard to win.
Yeah.
But it's just like I go from DJing weddings and shit to having my name next to
On
Clockwork.
EDC, right.
Yeah, and playing. They're paying for the hotel and the flight and everything. And it was like this thing kicked in. I was like, cool, you got it, go. And I kind of kept going down that path.
Yeah.
I made a lot of great music. I love it all, but it did divert me a little bit from what
Right.
my intention
That's so
was.
interesting.
There was like this neglect of the process, you know,
Yeah.
like where I'm gonna buy the followers, I'm gonna
Right.
buy the repost, I'm gonna buy everything, you know, I'm gonna fake it till I make it, but like in the dirtiest sense of the way.
Interesting.
And I think again that happens in every industry, I'm sure, but with that style of production, it's super apparent,
Right.
Because there is no, you don't have to have a vocalist. You can download a
Right.
sample pack. You know, you
Yep.
could literally download a construction kit and your song is loaded in.
Yeah.
You can't really do that with any other genre.
Right.
Because if you do that with a hip hop beat, it's like, okay, but where's the vocal? You
Yeah.
need a vocal. You know, you can't do that with rock because you still got to sing, you got to play. The drummer's got to. There's too many parts to it. But with just digital production, it was like you could download the MIDI.
Totally.
You could download the drums. And it
Yeah.
was just like fuck it.
Right.
So that's kind of how a few of the things that I ended up reflecting on. And then at that point, my voice was just better at that. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm ready. Like, I don't need to hide behind the
Yeah.
synths, and I don't need to hide behind the production. Like,
Yeah.
I could hold it now.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the interesting spot that Kato and I hit, because when we first moved down here, we wanted to be, an electronic duo, right?
Yeah.
And the for us, it was the people that we ended up meeting here, like they were a lot more singer-songwriters or like just like a really wide eclectic range of musicians, and it kind of inspired us to want to take the music in a different direction. Like you said, that became a lot harder, especially like in the learning process for myself, right? When I was like still learning how to do all this shit, it's like it wasn't as easy as just like making bangers, right? It's like all of a sudden you're surrounded by people who challenge you and people who are like writing songs. And writing songs and like making a banger are like two completely different things. Like really it's crazy. Like I'm still learning just how different they are, you know? And from that, it's like now we're kind of figuring out, okay, for us as DJs and as producers and people who work with artists, what is the most efficient way for us to accomplish this, and what's the most efficient way for us to do it, you know? Because like you said, it's just like a completely different ballgame. Yeah. It's not just about, you know, write a banger, have the followers, get booked to play shows. It's like you're really getting in the studio with artists. You're figuring out what the artist wants to do, what the artist is trying to say. Then you're trying to figure out how you can say it as well. So it's been a really interesting journey. I'm just like super grateful to be surrounded by people who are on that same wavelength as well. Just so you know, around, we got the spread right here.
Tell them.
I have this problem when I cook. I might load the plates up a little too much.
A little bit, man.
But
a little bit.
It's all out of love. Like, I want to make sure that everybody leaves full. I don't want anyone to ever leave our dinner table hungry. What's Cookin'? Episode 3, featuring Aaron Perez, Castor Troy. That's a wrap. Great food, great conversation. Thanks for tuning in. Check y'all out next time.
Bye now.